This offseason has been a wild and controversial one. We saw big-name coaches leave big-name schools for other jobs. We saw a historical recruiting class out of Texas A&M, and we have seen players jump in the transfer portal to cash in on that sweet, sweet NIL money. That last topic is going to be the focus around this video as the NCAA and conference leaders try to save college football. This morning, news broke that SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and the Pac-12 Commissioner George Klaivkoff will meet with U.S. senators in D.C. today to discuss legislative help surrounding name, image, and likeness, aka NIL. NIL was supposed to provide players the opportunity to work with companies to earn money from their name, image, and likeness while endorsing products. Instead, it has turned into more pay-for-play. Klaivkoff told ESPN, "I have been invited to meetings with several senators tomorrow to discuss the issues we're seeing with name, image, and likeness, and with the existential threat of our student athletes being deemed employees." NCAA leadership has asked for U.S. lawmakers to step in and help regulate NIL policies because there are no federal laws and state laws across the country vary differently. Klaivkoff worked with Senator Maria Cantwell at Real Network and contacted the Democratic senator to set up a meeting. Sankey and Klaivkoff will be meeting with Cantwell and Republican Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Klaivkoff explained, "The goal is to discuss a few of the issues facing college athletes with the influential senators. I think it's more likely that we eventually get federal legislation on name, image, and likeness, but we're also interested in discussing all of the harm that will come to student athletes if they are deemed employees. Either the NCAA is going to get its act together in enforcing this, or I'm going to be pushing for a smaller group to figure out how to create and enforce the NIL rules that we all agree on related to inducement and pay for play. The amount of NIL payment should be commensurated with the work done as a backstop to make sure we're not using it in related to inducement and pay for play." The meetings come on the heels of the Pac-12 spring meetings, during which athletic directors and coaches sought solutions to better control the NIL landscape. On the NCAA side, within the next few weeks, they are creating plans to start cracking down on boosters who are funding name, image, and likeness payments to athletes, payments the associates say are violations of long-standing NCAA rules. NCAA Council Chairman Shane Lyons told CBS Sports the association's ruling body is motivated to push back against what is becoming a burgeoning scandal of disguised pay-for-play in college athletics. Lyons told the media, "How are they having conversations with athletes? They're boosters. We've never let boosters be involved in the recruiting process. Where did it go off the tracks?" Collectives have been a major issue since NIL became a thing, with more than 100 emerging with unintended consequences, which has basically become unchecked NIL benefits. Per NCAA rules, boosters are not allowed to pay players directly or be a part of the university's recruiting process. The NCAA defines boosters as representatives of a school's athletic interests. That definition extends to supporters who have made contributions to a school's athletic department, arranged for employment of athletes, and/or assisted in providing benefits to athletes or their families. Once a person is designated as such a representative, they retain the identity forever, according to the NCAA. In the past, the NCAA has used a broader interpretation of the definition to penalize schools. The potential legal rub for the NCAA's actions would be defining a booster in a highly litigious environment. Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports writes, "Collectives are third-party entities that develop financial opportunities for college athletes. They've emerged as NIL brokers of varying levels of sophistication. They can be a part of a larger company, as a for-profit or non-for-profit entity. In the vast majority of cases, there will be no relation with the school. Of course, some collectives are headed by well-heeled alums who have no problem saying they are interested in good old State U prospering. A rules subcommittee of the NCAA Transformation Committee is currently reviewing some of these issues. A 2-year study by a committee to regulate NIL was basically ignored by the NCAA last year amid fears of legal liability. NIL was introduced about 9 months ago with no real guardrails and has become the wild, wild west." Todd Berry, the executive director of the American Football Coaches Association, told CBS Sports, "I have some coaches calling me and saying, I don't know what to do with this booster, because he's offering all these kids NIL money, and I don't even want the kid. All this was predictable. It's coming to fruition at this point. Personally, I like the idea of NIL, and I think players should get a cut of the pie. But the leadership at the top, I feel half-assed how they wanted to go about it. It seems like they wanted it to fail. I hope the meeting in DC and the NCAA subcommittee can help steer NIL in the right direction and create much needed guardrails. But what do you think? How can the NCAA fix the issues surrounding NIL and tampering? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for daily college football content, and make sure to check out one of my other videos the algorithm knows you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.